All right, we're back with Mark and Frank on Saturday. Oh, we forgot to tell you earlier that we are recording this on a Tuesday and it will air on a Wednesday. So, just so you know, if any sports things incredible happens tonight on Tuesday, we won't be able to talk about it until next week. Simple as that. All right. Thank you for your cooperation, and we appreciate your concern in this matter.
Alright, now let's talk our favorite thing, NBA basketball.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy. There's a current lockout situation in the NBA that's ugly, that's going to take a long time.
Oh yeah.
But let's sort of reflect on the previous NBA season, if you will. Okay, NBA Finals, Game 2.
Whoa, let's start. Whoa. Let's go way back.
Way back, okay.
To the first part of the season. As everyone knows, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh all banded together to form the newest dream team, if you will. And this team started off 9-8, rocky. Everyone doubted them. All
everyone
of a
was going
sudden,
crazy.
they go on a 12-game winning streak throughout until January-ish, I believe. And the only team in that time, the two teams, the team they lost to before they went on the streak, and the team they lost to end the streak, was the Dallas Mavericks. Now, we know that later, the Heat and Mavericks would go on to play in the finals. Dallas would win. Dirk would win MVP, finally getting the recognition he deserves. But till we get to that part, let's talk the first round of the playoffs. Zach Randolph and the Memphis Grizzlies stunned the first-seeded San Antonio Spurs, second best record in the NBA the Spurs had. The Memphis Grizzlies were a long shot to be in the playoffs from the first part, let alone win a playoff series, which is the first time Memphis has ever done so in the entire franchise history.
Let me tell you why I'm not surprised they won that series at all. You had a inconsistent Tony Parker at that time.
Tony Parker's garbage regardless. He's
no,
terrible.
but he was playing very up and down. You had 60% Ginobili, and you had Duncan. Duncan played terrific. Tim Duncan always plays terrific.
But
Parker.
Let's talk about the story. But regardless of Spurs, talk about the story of that entire series. Zach Randolph. He had the most 30-point, 15 rebound games since Shaq in 2000, 2001. This dude was a complete beast. If they would have gotten past the Oklahoma City Thunder, they would have won the NBA Finals. Let me tell you why. Because once they would have got past the Thunder, they have the Dallas Mavericks, and then they have whoever won against Miami or Chicago. It could have gone either way. If the Grizzlies would have won, we'll never know. But the Mavericks have Dirk Nowitzki, the greatest power forward to ever play the game. However, it would be too difficult for him to guard Zach Randolph in the post. And Tyson Chandler would not be used to playing against unathletic players. He's an athletic player. He needs to be jumping in the air, blocking shots. Marc Gasol is a hustler, a big rebounder, a big body in the paint, which I don't think personally Tyson Chandler could have contended with. Now, if they would have got past them, let's talk about the two possible matchups they could have played. They could have played the Heat and the Bulls. Now, Heat, it showed in the finals how much they needed a dominant center. They don't need a dominant center, but they need a decent center. Adding it maybe possibly a Marc Gasol or just an athletic big man. And plus, the Heat messed with chemistry way too late into the postseason to do anything serious. And also, the Grizzlies, Zach Randolph, no one on the Bulls, they don't have a big man. Carlos Boozer talked like he was the best in the league. He told Chris Bosh that the Heat only had two great players, and look what happened. He got destroyed by Chris Bosh. Two 30-point games, one 15-rebound game by Chris Bosh. Just dominated the whole series over Carlos Boozer. And then you have Zach Randolph adding pain to punishment. Chris Bosh can't guard Zach Randolph. He's my favorite player. I'm wearing a Chris Bosh shirt right now. But Chris Bosh cannot stop a dominant, big body, big man. He just can't do it. He's small.
Okay.
Simple as that.
Let me tell you the one matchup that no one talked about. And I know people are going to say, what are you talking about? Michael Conley playing point guard. Michael Conley in the playoffs was playing point guard out of his mind compared to what he usually did. Look, Gasol was just the perfect touch to complement Randolph's play. Gasol and Randolph probably grabbed some games, had 30 rebounds between the two of them. Michael Conley outplayed Tony Parker in those playoffs.
Well, Tony Parker's garbage regardless, so I mean,
know,
outplaying him's not very hard to do.
But still, Michael Conley.
Still,
no one thought Michael Conley would do it.
Yeah, no one did think he would do it. I will give you that. But I'm just saying that if he would have. Also, I want to talk about personally. I want to talk about what do you think about players going overseas? Email us at Mark and Frank on Saturday at yahoo.com. Tell us what you think, or just comment on the video, because I want to talk about players going overseas. Steven Jackson all of a sudden has become the resource and the source to go to if players want to go overseas. Kevin Durant asked him. Monte Ellis asked. Al Harrington asked. Even LeBron James asked him. Steven Jackson he may not be one of the best players in the game, but he is ultimately one of the most respected veterans. Same with Derek Fisher.
Let me tell you why going overseas is a bad idea.
Okay.
Don't do it. Get yourself in as many celebrity pro-ams as you want. Play as many pickup games as you can in your facility if you want to stay warm. But playing overseas is a bad idea. You have, first of all, it doesn't mean this is going to happen, but you could fall in love with the European style of play, come back to the NBA, and be blown right out of the game.
Well, some of these players are going to China now. China doesn't play a European
game.
They do.
China does play the traditional basketball.
It's traditional, much more of a American-style game than Europe. I mean, Kevin Durant's thinking about Turkey and China. Turkey plays an European game, but they also do play big-body American-style basketball.
I just think there's too much risks to playing overseas. I mean, the whole just adapting to playing somewhere else. I mean, I just feel like, if you go to China, look at the brawl Georgetown basketball just had with China. Okay, China obviously does not like this. These players that are saying, okay, I want to play in China, but I want to opt out of my contract when the NBA season comes back.
True.
That's what China doesn't like. So China.
That's why China said that.
Yeah, they did say.
They did say they're not going to take players under an NBA contract.
Yeah, they said you're going to have to, even if it's just a 1-year contract, if the NBA season comes back, you're going to have to sweat out a whole year in China.
Yeah.
The brawl with Georgetown. I mean, I don't know. Me personally as an NBA player, just work out, just keep working out, stay in the U.S. Like, you look at football, they had no option. I mean, there's no elite professional football in, China, you know?
True. But what I'm saying is, even though players go overseas, some of these players are getting in Turkey, if there's an NBA season, you can opt out of your contract. That's why more players are going to Europe, because European teams are willing to do that because they're not used to having celebrity basketball players. And once you have that attraction to the Europe, that's where a lot of players go. Brandon Jennings went there. Anthony Parker went there.
Okay.
They go there because Europe is much more accepting of NBA talent, because they never had anything like that except for Dirk Nowitzki and Tony Parker to a point.
Right. Yeah, you're right. This is what I say. The question: what do NBA players get out of completely scoring 60 points a game in a European league? What do they get out of dominating so easy to the point where they're not even getting any better, because they're just, if LeBron goes to play in Europe, he averages 70 points a game. What is he getting out of that? I mean,
True.
It's just
this is true.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this has been the first episode of Mark and Frank on Saturday. Tell us what you think. We got a website. We don't have a website yet. We have an email. Mark and Frank on Saturday at yahoo.com. That's Mark and Frank on Saturday at yahoo.com. We also, on the YouTube channel, post a bulletin. Tell us what you think. We're going to have a Facebook page very soon. So, with all that, I'm Mark.
I'm Frank.
Thank you for watching Mark and Frank on Saturday.